I'm kind of bored and I don't like anybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie and this week we are doing a reading vlog. I already started the book yesterday. I was going to start the vlog yesterday too, but I never got around to it. You can see Rowan playing with my reading light right now. So I never got around to it. The house was a little bit messy. We got a new TV stand and media center type furniture. So I had to like clean out ours, organize it a little bit, and just do that. And then I just never found a good time to start vlogging, mostly because by the time I found time, I looked gross, and I don't like to shower until right at bedtime because otherwise I feel gross when I get in bed. But anyways, I started The Shadows by Alex North yesterday. Yesterday I read the prologue in the first chapter, and I just read chapters 2 through 5 a few minutes ago, and I'm really enjoying this book. So this book follows a man named Paul. Whenever he was a teenager, something really bad happened, and he ultimately ended up needing to leave. And it appears that there's like, I think, a murder or something. And there have been copycats over the years, and it looks like another copycat might be starting at about the same time Paul is moving back to his hometown. And the only reason he's moved back to his hometown is because his mother has dementia and she appears to be dying because she also has cancer at the same time. But whenever he first goes to visit her in the hospice, she wakes up and she essentially alludes to whoever is the copycat supposedly being in their house, I think. And this is all kind of mentioned like on the flap of the book, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything. Rowan's moving stuff around, sorry. But anyways, it's really good so far, and it's kind of told where the prologue took place. The prologue took place, you know, whenever everything happened. Then after that, there's a chapter from third person that is about a detective. And then the chapters with Paul are told from Paul's first person point of view. But like the chapters of Paul, some of them are present day, then some of them are in the past, kind of, I guess, leading up to what happened. And I like the format. I really like that type of format in books. But anyways, Rowan and I are about to go on a walk, play outside, clean up, and then at some point today I will read some more and let you know how it's going. It's a few hours later on Monday. I've done quite a few things today since I last checked in with you. Me and Rowan went on a walk. We didn't get to play outside. Yesterday when we went to go pick up a pizza, I forgot to get Rowan's shoes out of the car, so he didn't get to play outside today. Our yard has like a lot of rocks in it, and a lot of, I think we have stickers and stuff too. So he couldn't play outside barefoot, and he has other shoes. It's just the ones that fit his fat feet the best were not here. So that happened, and then we cleaned up a little bit when Rowan took his nap. Whenever I left you guys this morning, I had read about 50 pages, and I've read about 50 more pages. I'm about to start chapter 13 next time I get a chance to read, and this book is really interesting to me. Every time I've had a chance to read it, I've read it for at least 50 pages at a time, except for yesterday, but yesterday I never really had a good chance to get into it. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm interested to see how the detective Amanda's and Paul's storylines, like if they're actually ever going to meet or if they're always going to be separate. And it looks like also that Paul, he knew the guys that the bad thing happened to. He was best friends with the guy who was, my shoe fell. He was best friends with the guy who was killed, and he was in the same friend group as some of the other people involved. but he wasn't personally involved in the thing, but he still feels guilty about it. And he's been out of his hometown for 25 years. And he's back at his hometown. His mom says it's in the house, whatever it is. And so it kind of unsettles him, but he's just like, you know what, I think she either has Alzheimer's or dementia. I can't remember which one. And he's like, she must just be living in the past. And then eventually it's on his mind a lot, and he runs into someone who's like, well, it's obviously bothering you, so why don't you check it out? And he goes to the attic, and he just finds a ton of newspapers. The first box is full of newspapers involving what happened whenever he was a child with, or a teenager, 15, I think, with the other boys in the group. And the next two boxes full of newspapers, each box is about a different case that was essentially a copycat case that happened within the past few years. And for some reason, his mom was like holding on to the papers. And so then Amanda, the detective, is like following the most current copycat case that they know of. And then there's this forum where people talk about, I guess it's like a true crime forum, and a lot of people have been talking about the case that Paul was involved in a way. And Paul, or I think Paul recently found the forum, but like they talk about the copycats and stuff, and it's really interesting. The forum is, I don't really know if I can describe it without like it being a spoiler, and I don't really know if describing it would be a spoiler, but it might be, especially if you want to detail about like what all is found out from the forum. But one thing I thought was kind of odd about the way the forum is set up is that each username is made with a first initial, last initial, and then like 3 numbers. And so it's odd to me that people would use their real initials, especially if anyone on the site is up to no good. But so I thought that was interesting. But like I said, I'm really enjoying this book so far. It actually, like, I'm not creeped out, but like I definitely can feel the eerie vibe from it. Especially with like talking about the lucid dreams and like Charlie's goals with the lucid dreams and what he wanted to do with them. And Charlie was like essentially the big instigator 25 years ago, and he disappeared after the crime, which it talks about that in the book, or it talks about that on the cover of the book. But anyways, I'm probably not going to read any more tonight. I will check in with you guys next time I read a little bit and let you know how it's going. Hey guys, it is Tuesday afternoon. I got to do a good bit of reading this morning. I think I read about 6 chapters. Rowan woke up he woke up at 9. He's been sleeping in a little bit lately. I think he's getting ready to go through a growth spurt because he's been going to bed at the same time every night, but sleeping until about 9 when he normally wakes up closer to 8. And like by closer to 8, I mean like some mornings 7:30, some mornings 8:30. So I know 9's not that much later, but it's just weird, and like for how consistent it's been lately. Along with the past 2 or 3 days, he's taken several 2.5-hour naps. Like each day he's taking at least 1 2.5-hour nap, which isn't like crazy for him, but it's crazy for him to have that many consecutive naps that are that long. But anyways, we haven't really done much today. Today's actually my birthday. I saw my sister for a little bit, and she let me order a couple of books that I've been wanting. And my aunt asked me like on the family Amazon account to order a couple of books that I wanted to. So that was nice. We haven't really done much today. We went on our walk this morning. We played outside. I've neglected the house, and we're getting ready to eat dinner whenever Chris gets home in a few minutes. And then I'm probably going to take Jasper for a walk again tonight. And then hopefully I'll read again at some point, but I may or may not tonight. So if I don't, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And if I do, I may still talk to you tomorrow instead of today. And then our internet's been messed up this afternoon. I'm hoping it'll work again. I've seen a lot of people talk about, I think it's The Haunting of Bly Manor. I think that's what it is. I've been wanting to watch it since I've seen a lot of people talk about it. So I was gonna see if Chris would watch it with me tonight. Also, I was gonna tell you that after I left talking with you guys yesterday, I actually ended up reading a little bit more. And I actually started to get like a little freaked out. I had to put the book down. I wanted to keep reading, but also I was a little freaked out. And I know how I am at night. Like if my cats jump off the dryer and like all the way on the other side of the house, if I hear it, even though I know it's probably my cats, I'm going to assume it's Red Hands. So I don't really have much of an update about the book today, other than it kind of creeps me out a little bit, but I'm still really enjoying it. It looks like the detectives and Paul's storylines are about to like actually merge together a little bit more. And like they had like, you know, obviously, sorry, I didn't mean to bump y'all. They had, you know, storylines that kind of went together, obviously, but they were in two very different locations. So now it looks like they're going to be closer to the same location, and I'm interested to see how that is. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow, maybe tonight, I don't know. I talked to you guys was last night, and I was telling you about how Chris and I were going to try to watch, I think I was just telling you guys about how I wanted Chris and I to start a new show last night. Well, apparently the internet was just down in our town yesterday afternoon into last night, but I did make enough headway into The Shadows last night that I was able to finish it this morning before Rowan and I went on our walk. We did take our walk a little bit later than normal because I really wanted to finish The Shadows. And I really enjoyed this book. Most of it at the beginning, like I liked it, but I wasn't sure about it. And at first I was leaning towards rating it 3 stars until like maybe the last 100 to 150 pages. I feel like the story just got so much more fast paced. I feel like all of the twists were at the end because like everything that I thought was what happened or was happening, there was always a twist as soon as I was like, that's what happened. And then they changed it. And then also another really interesting element of this book is that, like I always, or at least for me, the whole time I was reading it, I could never decide if it was like a supernatural element to it or not. Because like sometimes it seemed like there was, and then it wouldn't seem like it, especially with the Red Hands guy. And so, it was really interesting. It was really good. And I really liked it. I would say it was a 4-star rating for me. And actually the other night I got a little creeped out enough that I had to put it down. But I finished this book today. At some point today I want to start Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I might honestly start it right now during Rowan's nap. I'm going to read this book. I know this book is supposed to be about, it's like a bank robbery that's gone wrong for some reason. When the bank robber fled the scene of the crime, he ends up in like an apartment open house and he holds the people in there hostage. I read the first chapter at the end of, I believe I read it at the end of September because I was thinking about reading this book and then I didn't. And then I'm trying to make a decision about what I want to read after I read this book, because originally this was going to just be me making a little bit of a dent in my October TBR. But then at the beginning of the month, I put a hold on The Guest List by Lucy Foley on Libby, and my hold came through today. And I'm trying to decide if I want to read that at the end of this vlog, like to close this vlog out, or if I want to read The Female Man by, I can't remember her name at the moment, Joanna Russ. The Female Man by Joanna Russ, because that one ended up in my TBR for the prompt, an author with the same initials as you. But anyways, I'll tell you guys about that whenever I get to that part. But for now, I'm probably about to get started Anxious People. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit and let you know how it's going. guys, I meant to film the segment during Rowan's nap earlier. Just it's a little bit easier to film when he's napping. That way I don't have to kind of watch him and talk to you guys at the same time. And also, he's kind of getting more talkative lately. But I didn't do it, and I wanted to update you guys now. So anyways, I finished Anxious People by Frederick Backman this morning, and I loved it. It was a 5-star rating for me. So this book kind of follows the events of a bank robbery gone wrong, where the bank robber ends up in an apartment open house. And I think this book was translated from another language into English. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was. And it was such an interestingly written book, in that at times it kind of seemed like it was being written in second person every now and then, the way that it would the narrator would constantly talk to you. And then it would go back to kind of third person. I really liked that. I liked how it was like parts of the book, like the narrator was like talking to me directly. And then all the characters were, most of them were awful in their own way. So most of the characters were very realistic as people. None of them were perfect. They were all flawed, and a lot of them, especially the hostages and the bank teller, were incredibly annoying and so hard to like. Even like as they were humanized, like they were still just very annoying people. Very difficult to be interviewed at the police station by Jack and Jim, the father-son police officers. And so like I really liked that. Like even though the characters were annoying at times, it was still fun to read them, and like I could completely understand everyone's frustration. And the book was told partly as interviews and partly as like stories. Like here's, I can't read the names of the interview, I don't have my glasses on, but these are like, you know, this is like the interview conversation for the investigation. And it's so interesting because, like, you know, the book, it all takes place during a single day for the most part. There's a couple of flashbacks to about 10 years in the past, and like a couple at the end, there's like a flash forward where the narrator essentially tells you what's going to happen to all the characters as their lives progress. But for the most part, it's told in a single day. It's like once the hostages are free, the issue is no one knows what happened to the bank robber or where they're at. And then the bank robber is not who you believe it is at the beginning of the book. And that twist is handled very well in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. But like I said, this book is a solid 5-star rating for me. I really enjoyed it. All of the characters were superhuman in some of the best and most annoying ways. Because like once you're first introduced to them and you kind of see most of their uglier sides, you are kind of introduced to their better sides. Like you kind of see, I can't remember her name, Anna, I think it's Annalina's, her husband. He comes off as just a very, I don't know, hateful person almost. I wouldn't say he's hateful, but that kind of vibe. And then, you know, later on, Annalina kind of makes him like, and at one point Annalina tells another one of the hostages like a story about him where you think it's going to just further confirm that he's this awful guy, and it doesn't. It kind of brings into light some of his better qualities. So I really liked that. I also thought Jim and Jack, the father-son police officers, I thought their relationship was very interesting. It actually kind of reminded me of Goofy and Max from a Goofy movie. But like just Jim and Jack's relationship reminded me so much of Goofy and Max's. That's just like kind of what I pictured in my head about them. About like how they communicated with each other and how they annoyed each other and stuff like that. You can hear Rowan talking in the background right now. He's looking out the window, kind of yelling at the neighbors. It looks like it's about to rain. But anyways, this was a very good book, and I'm very sorry if this segment has been a little distracting. Alright, so another thing is yesterday I was trying to decide between reading The Female Man by Joanna Russ or The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and they're both ebooks. The only difference is that The Guest List was, I had put on hold on Libby, and my hold came through recently. And then The Female Man is on my actual October TBR, but there's no real timeline to read it. And so I couldn't decide which to read yesterday, because originally this video was going to be completing, or not completing, but almost completing my October TBR. And then I decided that after reading a few sentences from the first pages of both books, I'm gonna read the guest list for this vlog. So I will catch up with you guys sometime tonight, tomorrow, about the guest list and how it's going. It's Friday night. I didn't update you guys at all yesterday. I read a little bit yesterday, but not very much. And I read a little bit today, but not very much. I'm now about somewhere between a third and a halfway through the guest list, and I'm not liking it that much. Normally, I don't mind characters that aren't likable, or at least in all of the YA books I've read. For the most part, I don't normally care too much if a character is likable or not. But all of the characters in this book are awful in their own way. So far, I don't mind Hannah or Olivia too much. Hannah is the +1 because her husband is part of the wedding, but he's not part of it in the way that you would normally think. And then Olivia is a bridesmaid and the bride's younger sister. I don't mind either of their characters too much. I'm sure based off how this book is going, I'm sure at some point that's probably going to change. But all the other characters suck. And it's not just that they're like potentially morally gray. A lot of them are just flat out kind of come off as bad people. And I don't know if I'm being judgmental or not. It's just I'm not liking them that much. And so not a whole ton has happened yet. So like on the chapters that show it's the wedding day, the big event has happened and like we're still waiting to figure out what the big event was. And then at the other chapters where it's like the night before, we're up past the rehearsal dinner, and now everyone's most of the people are off partying in the other room, like playing drinking games, and Olivia and Hannah didn't want to be a part of it, so they're kind of off on their own. And like I said, I don't really know how I feel about it. I'm not enjoying it that much. Hopefully I'll finish it tonight or tomorrow morning, but if I don't, ugh. But no, I'm probably not going to DNF it. I'm not disliking it that much. I'm hoping it'll like once the twist happens, it'll get more interesting. Or like once the big event happens and then the twist, it'll get more interesting. It's just that as of right now, I'm kind of bored and I don't like anybody. And maybe I was a little bored and I liked somebody, or maybe if I hated everyone but wasn't bored, it'd be different. It's not my favorite book right now. But anyways, on a lighter note, today is Saturday. Chris's dad came to town again this weekend to help Chris work on his car some more. But Rowan went home with Chris's dad tonight to go see his grandma and spend some time up there with them for the overnight. And so Chris and I kind of took the opportunity to have like a date night, which we haven't really had in a long time because we don't take, well, first of all, like we haven't really gone shopping or anything for fun in months, like since March. And so we don't take Rowan out shopping. Whenever we do groceries, if we need to do a pickup, we schedule a pickup. If we can't do a pickup for whatever reason, Rowan will either hang out with one of us while the other one goes shopping, or worst case scenario, if say Chris is at work and we need groceries and I don't have time to schedule a pickup for whatever reason, Rowan will hang out with my sister. Like we have like I guess people that we trust around Rowan at this point in time, because I'm not comfortable getting Rowan out for anything other than doctor's appointments. But anyways, Chris and I took the opportunity to go to a town that has a few more bookstores and stuff, and I got a couple books for my birthday. My birthday was Tuesday. But two of the books I got were The Merciful Crow by, I think it says Margaret Owen. I don't have my glasses on so I can't see. I got this one at Half Price Books. And then I picked up Percy Jackson, the first Percy Jackson book by Rick Riordan. I recently listened to the audiobook, and this is one of the series that I want to start reading to Rowan. I typically at bedtime read Rowan like a little bit of a book, and then I read him like a couple of his books, but I want to start reading him like books that are a little bit older, but like I don't think it'll be too bad. So like I think I don't really have any logic behind it, but I feel like it's something I want to do, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then this is a series I like anyways. But this is like one of the series that like I'm not in a rush to get all of them, so I will pick them up one at a time from the used bookstore. I almost bought the second one today, but because I'm picky and I noticed that it was the cover was a different edition, and I want them to match. I picked up a few more books too, but I want to be able to do a like fall book haul in December. And I don't want to spoil it too much, because like the fall book haul will be all the books I get from like the end of September to the beginning of December. And because I'm already facing October, that kind of adds a few extra. But anyways, I'm probably about to charge my phone and then read some more. My iPad and my phone both have low batteries right now. But anyways, I'll take you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, it's Sunday morning. I'm on my second cup of coffee because I didn't go to sleep last night. So I ended up listening to the audiobook for The Guest List by Lucy Foley because I was having so much trouble getting into it. I was so frustrated by all the characters, and I thought that unlikable characters weren't an issue for me. And maybe they are, and I just haven't read enough books with unlikable characters, and maybe they aren't. But either way, I disliked almost everyone in this book, and they were so hard to read for me. I don't know why, but for some reason I just had so much trouble reading the ebook. And so I found the audiobook and I listened to it, and it was a lot better. I started listening to the audiobook a little bit after midnight last night, and I think it finished at about 5 or 6 this morning, because once I started listening to it, I couldn't put it down. Especially like the last maybe 25% or so was probably the best part of the book. Like whenever all the discoveries were being made, whenever all the twists were taking place, whenever you finally find out what actually happens, whenever the book opens on the wedding night. That was all really interesting, and I liked that part of the book, and so I rated it 3 stars because it wasn't awful or anything. It's just I really struggled to read it, and I didn't really like it that much, but I did like the ending. I really thought the ending was really good, but just the actual book itself, no, I didn't like it that much. Also, though, I will say I like the way it was written. It's not one of the stories that's like told like in different timelines. I think that's happened with all 3 books I've read this week, where, you know, part of the story is in the present and other parts in the past. And for the guest list, it specifically takes part during the wedding, and then from the day before the wedding, when everyone is still arriving to the island where the manor is that they're doing the wedding at, up until I think a little bit after or a little bit before the vows and stuff, if I have that correctly. So it's really interesting. I think the twist at the end was really good. I think that was handled really well, and I really enjoyed the ending. It's just the rest of the book I didn't like as much, so it was a 3-star rating for me. But anyways, now to recap the books I've read this week. The first book I read was The Shadows by Alex North, and it was a 4-star rating. I really enjoyed this one. This one kept me interested throughout the whole book from the beginning to the end, and I loved the constant guessing of whether or not there was a supernatural element. Like, all the way up to the end, you never know for sure one way or the other. Next was Anxious People by Frederick Backman, and I think this was my favorite book I've read this month. It was a 5-star read for me. I loved the idea because it was such a serious topic of, like, you know, police or like bank robbery and in a hostage situation. It was like such a serious topic, like based off the surface, but when she got in, it was like a kind of a funny story that also talked about more serious things, and I really enjoyed this one. And actually, after I finish closing out this vlog, I think I'm gonna do a video review for this book because I enjoyed it that much. And lastly, we have The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which I just talked about. Didn't love it, but I did enjoy the ending. I didn't like it that much, but I really enjoyed the ending, and it was just a 3-star rating for me. The ending really brought it up because it was really close to being a 2-star until all the twists just kept happening at the end, and I think they were handled really well, in my opinion. But anyways, thank you guys so much for sticking around for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've read any of these 3 books that I read this week, what were your thoughts on them? Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.